6 is in session.
All right, we'll go back on the record in People versus Limon, BF 1668018. Record reflects she's present in court with Mr. Terry. People are represented by Mr. Smith. We do have Mr. Hearn still on the stand, subject to direct by Mr. Smith. He's accompanied by his attorney, Mr. Campbell, and we do have all 12 plus 4 in the box in formation. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I see you all back. Again, I do appreciate your time and your patience. Mr. Smith, if you'd like to continue.
Your Honor, I would request to play 47E at this time.
The objection, Mr. Terry.
Submitted.
All right. 47E, as an echo will be played.
Thank you.
Deputy Barron will hand out that transcript. Transcript is an aid to help you follow along. The actual evidence is what you hear, not what you read. Mr. Smith, it appears everybody has a copy whenever you're ready, Tom.
Now playing November 11, 2014 at 15:13 hours.
Hello. I'm sorry, I was meeting up with my sister.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I just saw that I missed a call from you. I'm so sorry.
I did, yeah, I tried calling you. I had a quiet moment here. The kids are riding their scooters and,
Oh, good.
yeah. So, are you busy?
No, I'm not. I've been thinking about you a lot and doing a lot of thinking, and I really I look forward to talking to you tonight. I just want to...
Just thinking about it. I do want to hear what you're thinking.
Yeah, a lot of things. And I'll tell you tonight. But just, I think paramount above all, it really, really is true that God wants us on earth. He has, he only shows us a little bit of the spectrum, the little bit that he shows us is only just a small little sliver of the spectrum, a little bit of taste, a little bit of touch, a little bit of sight, a little bit of sound, a little bit of, he doesn't give us the whole story because he doesn't want us getting too big for our britches. Like,
My door's out. Hold on 1 second. Okay. It's seriously.
Say station 1 there.
It is station 1. Oh, I like that one. No. Okay, don't spray me the face. On your lip. I know, I like that. Can I have that one? Ooh, never mind. Ooh. It's really strong. No, it's not normal. Okay, baby, okay. On your head. Okay, not the phone, babe. Ooh. Lupe gave me a perfume and it smells like it's been, anyway. It's the Victoria's Secret, the one, like, I'm familiar with it, and I'm like, ooh, I like that spray, I'll take it. Like, Victoria's Secret's very sexy, it's probably great for, like, you don't need that, Leanna. Oh, wait, no, this is not, it's like, it smells like a knockoff. But that's not what that one smells like.
It's some vinegar and...
Yeah, it's like one of those, like, the after smells all... I'm sorry to interrupt you. My mom, I was like, it never is. There's never a moment to just. It seems like the phone's always ringing or the doorbell's always going, or but once again, I I do count my blessings, you know,
Yeah.
and prosper for love and,
Mm-hmm. Oh, baby.
yeah, and God does that to me. I feel like as soon as I get up, I should be back down, you know, and just like,
Yeah. You know, and that's exactly what I was just gonna say. I've seen some things. I don't know. I just read some things today that make me a little more hopeful, but then for a lot more hopeful, like just okay, this is not, you know,
about or no.
No. Just about, you know, life in general, and you know, just makes me a lot more hopeful and stuff. And then I almost get like happy and like, oh good, like it's gonna be, you know, it's okay. And then I remember like, you know, we are so vulnerable. We are dirty, rotten sinners, and we are like spiders dangling from a thread above a furnace, you know, and like all it takes is a little snap of a finger and we are destroyed. And I don't want that. I want to be a missionary. I want to leave God behind everywhere that I walk. I want to leave a little bit of God. I'm gonna touch this world with Him. So,
You know, I hear what you're saying.
it's the ultimate game of chess, and it's the ultimate checkmate, and we live in checkmate. And I think if we think we're still in the game, we're not. Like, we have to live for Him.
Yeah.
That is life. That is humanity. Is we are indebted to the one who saved our souls, and it's a beautiful thing because we get to be on His team. But the second we try to go back and do our own thing and stand up and get up off our knees inside, and it is, you know, obviously the day has to go on, obviously the kids have to be fed, obviously, you know, these hungry coworkers of mine have to be fed, and paperwork has to be done, and all this, but God has, you know, God wants us to stay on our knees inside and continually pray and not get, you know, when He gives us little pieces of hope, help those to be just sources of gratefulness and not like, you know, check boxes like, okay, good. It should be gratefulness like, oh, I deserve death, I deserve hell, I deserve, you know, this, but God is merciful and God has saved me. So, like, when He does give us hope, let's appreciate that for what it is. And when He gives us, you know, strength, let's appreciate that for what it is. And, so, anyways, I look forward to talking to you tonight, and most of all, I look forward to praying with you, because I just, you know, every moment when you start to get tired or start to get worn down or start to get one way or another, it's such an important reminder to, like, you know, stay the course and stay strong. And, you know, hey, if you gotta use what God has given us, put all the coffee, Jonathan, and, like, stay focused. God has a purpose in every single thing that has happened, and He is looking for people willing to give their all. And I feel like where He's got me right now, I feel vulnerable, I feel naked, I feel like my private story, you know, of my life is about to just sort of be, you know, like people will see me for who I've been and who I am, and everyone's always thought I was just a good church mouse, and no one would ever dream that I had given so much of my life to selfishness, so much of my life to, you know, to so much as to meddle with an affair, or, you know, but that is the story of grace. That is the story of grace. And you know what? If it takes me decreasing so that God can increase, I don't want my story to be about me and my greatness. I want my story to be about God and His greatness. And looks like the guys from Engine One are here, so they're probably going to want to talk or something.
Okay. Well, what time are you, give me just a minute, okay? I'll be right there. Give me just a minute. Okay. But I just asked you to give me a minute. Okay, you're going to get in big trouble if you don't just go give me a minute and I'll be right there. Okay, well, I'll be there real quick. What time?
I get off at 8.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I'll head right back up the hill, and if the kids could get to bed, or I don't even care. I mean, I don't want the kids to stay up too late, like with us. I don't care if
Oh, no.
they know that I'm coming over or anything.
Yeah.
I really don't care if they know I'm coming over or anything to talk to them.
Yeah. No, I want to get them to bed just because they have school in the morning.
Okay.
I think you got stuff going on tomorrow. They have a good day. So,
Okay. Well, by 9:30, I can be there.
okay, that sounds like perfect timing. Truly. Okay. I'm going to finish up some stuff I have to. Oh man. Okay, I really do. I just, gosh, so.
He's all we've got, baby. He's all that we've got.
He's gotten me this far, I tell you,
Yeah.
I didn't even know how I was going to stand up after, and
Mm-hmm.
he's gotten me stand, so I can keep going, whatever kind of.
Yes, we can. Only because of God, not because of ourselves, not because of anyone else, not because of our uprising or anyone else's downfall too. That's something else that I need to remember. Is our opportunity has not come because of the downfall of another. Even this, an opportunity for marriage has not come because of his passing. Now something makes it well, now it's easier or something. It's not because of human circumstances. It's because God says yes or God says no, or God says walk or God says stop, and come and go. We are His, and we need to be His because, we can live for ourselves. And it's a great life, and you and I have lived it. And it's full of drunkenness and foolishness and craziness and destruction, absolute destruction. So I don't want to live for myself. I want to stay on my knees. And I know that you do too. And I'm sorry that when I talk sometimes it probably sounds like I'm just preaching to the choir here, but it's like I often revolve my own mind as I speak, it's very reassuring for me to, I guess, to know that you're hearing what I'm thinking, if that makes any sense. But anyways, I love you so much.
I'll let you finish off your shift.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Every feeling of my time, it's like, Jonathan, it's so important that I never, I still, I can't believe I was wrong, And so it's like, and regardless of what struggle, like, you know, he was still just like such a good guy, you know, and you know, the bond that we shared, and my gosh, you know, the kid's dad, it's just like so much to think like, I do want to know what's it like. It's just, it feels just like now I've just been focusing on like getting the kids through, you know, and, you know, just like with you, you've helped me, just like you've been my, you know, you're here for me and, you know, seeing me and, you know, comforting me through it. But, you know, there's just moments and days and it just seems so unreal, you know, it's just like, it seems so unreal. I can't, I can't believe it, but, you know.
Yeah, I can only imagine, and that's all I can do is imagine, because I don't know how that feels. But at the same time, I do know the God who loves you. And,
yeah. And that's who I feel. Like I just feel God. Like I feel His love. You know, it's not. It's something that that's what I trip out on. Like He's given me this love that I feel more than I ever have. You know, through losing Robert. It's just so crazy that I feel the way that I do. You know, through the pain. You know, but it's like an empty feeling, and then especially, like I said, just like, yeah, what are the answers? Like, why, like, what is this puzzle? What's going on? Like, I don't understand, you know?
Yeah.
So, but thank you for like your support and loving me, you know, before and through and after, you know, I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much for your constant reminder to look to God. And could I pray for us real quickly?
Yeah.
Oh God, we need you. We need you so badly. We need you, God. You know our purpose. You know our hope. We want to live for you, God. We want to live for you, and we want to love you. Please give us strength, God. Please give us strength. Help us to live for you. And shed your light wherever we go. God, we're not good at it. We're not good at it yet. But God, put us on our feet and strengthen us. Give us purpose. Let us make it. Let it's us doing it. You doing the work of us. God, we don't want to be prideful, but we know that you have saved some dirty robbers sinners. You've saved some filthy people, murderers, killers, rapists, adulterers, harlots. You have saved all these people, and these are the heroes of faith in the Bible. God, it wasn't because they did anything good, it was because they had a broken heart. God, we want to keep a broken heart. Help us to have a broken heart. Please help us kindly to keep a broken heart and remember that we know you are everything. And God, please be patient with us because we are human. Because we have participated in this sin that humanity is cursed with, God. We're prone to wander away from you, God. Please be patient with us. But God, you have saved us, and you have blotted out our iniquities, and you are taking us to your heaven. God, please sanctify us now on earth so that we would have a good testimony, so that the world, like David, God, he suffered his own internal punishment and for the sins of his adultery and his constantly weighed in the balances, and there were many, many people that knew what he did, but God, you hushed the rumor. You were respectful and loving and caring of his privacy, and you hushed the rumor, and no one spoke of his adultery that we know, or at least that's not the theme of the story. So God, please don't make that the theme of our story. We want the theme of our story to be that we are missionaries for you, that we leave all and follow you, that we reckon ourselves, that we consider ourselves naked, bare, and empty to the world except for you. God, you are all we have. You are all that we have. Help us to be merciful as you have showed us mercy. Oh God, please help us to be merciful. I think we might be having a call. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I said I think we're getting a call. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. This is okay.
I love you so much. I love
Okay, I'll give it to you. Okay.
Record reflected 47E as an echo was played for the jury. Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Mr. Hearn, during this call, you were at work. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How long was it before you were to get off work that evening, if you recall?
A few hours.
When you were going to get off work, what was your plan after that?
Indicated by the audio we just listened to drive pretty much straight up and go visit with Sabrina.
Okay. I want to draw your attention to page 11, lines 8 and 9. You talk about, I guess at this point you're praying. You've saved some filthy people, murderers, killers, rapists, and adulterers. You've saved all of these people, and these are heroes of the faith in the Bible. You see that portion?
I do.
Also drawing your attention, if you have it up there, transcript from November 11th, 2014 at 13:18 hours. If you could go to page 8, lines 18 through 20. In that portion, Miss Limon speaking, oh, you want to keep being rude, you want to keep stealing, murdering, being pornographic, getting drunk, keep going, I'll be back and it's not going to be good for you in the context of God. Do you recall that portion of the transcript?
I do.
Okay. There seems to be some similarities between what she said, what you said. Is this something that you had spoke about in forgiveness of murderers, killers?
Yes.
Okay. What did you and Miss Limon speak about in relation to the two passages I just read to you?
Probably simply embellishments of what we just heard on the audio recording. Loosely put, that there is a reserve of grace still for those who have committed what would be socially unacceptable sins, like some of those more egregious sins mentioned, but that there is still some grace that's provided. Ironically, there wasn't much mention of repentance, which is the gateway to that grace. But at this time, obviously, it's probably kind of disturbing to hear theology over a wiretap. But incidentally, what we're hearing is two hearts that were being systematically broken by God, and I think this courtroom experience is probably the answer to some of those prayers. But frankly, over these 3 days, I have a stack of papers here from the 9th to the 11th so far, and I've heard God's name mentioned 1,000 times probably, and obviously, he was on the front of our attention, our minds, and seeking his forgiveness was something that was very important for me at that time.
There is a lot of terminology such as grace, such as mercy. What is the context of grace? What are you speaking about?
In this context, meaning November 11th, 2014, we both had common knowledge of a murder. First and foremost, there's spiritual responsibility that I think every person is aware that they bear before God, and that responsibility I know was certainly very heavy on my mind with just the guilt or the weight of guilt that I was dealing with at that time. But beyond that, there's also some element of social responsibility and judicial responsibility. And at this time, like I said, it was hearts being systematically broken. At that time, I had not become very eager to be found out through investigation or held to any sort of social or judicial responsibility. And so you'll hear the elements of that when we speak about remaining continually humble on our knees. I guess there was some sort of remaining hope that God would not be true to his nature and wouldn't expose sin for what it is. And that we would essentially get away without the responsibility of Rob's murder. Again, that's the context for this phone call.
Your Honor, we request to play 47F at this time.
Sure, you have a copy of that? Any objection? Any objection, Counselor? All right, good. It'll be admitted. 47F, as in Foxtrot, will be handed out. Deputy Barron will hand out the transcripts to the jury. Mr. Smith, looks like all the members of the panel have a copy.
Now playing November 11, 2014 at 15:52 hours.
Hello. Hey.
I love you so much. I love you so much.
You too.
I'm sorry, oh, what's that?
I said I love you too.
Oh, gosh, I feel so blessed, and yet so humbled. So humbled. I just think about how blessed I am to know you, maybe to have you in my life, and every moment that we've shared together. And
I'm so glad you don't feel cursed in
no, you know, I can honestly say,
let me just check and see who it is. I figured it. I'll call her back.
I can honestly say, I have not once harbored that thought of feeling bad for myself or feeling cursed or anything like that, or like any ill misfortune or anything like that. Like, I do feel like I love you. I love you. And I would say now more than ever, I feel so committed to you. Like, completely. And I want to make that known, and I want to make that official, and I want to make that in God's timing. And I love you so much, Sabrina. You have changed my life and changed my heart, and I'm sorry that we have to be apart right now, and I am filled with love for you, and I'm filled with humility. I wanna stay humble for God, and like, I want to. I really want to. I don't want to get foolish. I don't want to get lax. I want to stay on fire for God, because He controls every outcome. He does.
I should say, like, I knew that. I do. As I said, that kind of, I think, there's that thing, just, the detective tells me, he has seen it, and it sounded like he had this hope, and so then I should have hope as well, and hopefully it's not mine.
Right, because that is a good thing. I mean, it actually is going to be, Sabrina, that's the thing. I was just thinking and praying for that, like with the whole DNA thing. The DNA could be the very thing that, like, that is the thing that sets us free. That is the thing that shows that we're not involved. That could be the thing. Yeah. And, like, it comes back, and it's okay. Because that is a definite news. That is a very definite, like...
That's why I asked him, like, so I was just wondering, like, so okay, so it's not that. Then how did he not know that it's not one of the guys that works there?
And that's... Well, and that was kind of my thought was, why is he being so weird about it? It's like, it's almost like he wants to use it, but not really use it. Like, he wants to use it, but just to say, like, oh, well, we know who it is, and we know that you know who it is, so you got to tell us.
That's exactly how I took it, because I was like, okay, like, good, okay, well, like, but then he was like, so what we're going to do is we're putting it in the system, and that's going to put it out there, and, like, if there's any registered this or that, like, it's going to get us. It's going to get us. Like,
yeah.
He was just kind of like, yeah, well, I was busy and don't know what, so as far as the DNA goes, like, yeah, that's awesome. And
I feel like I almost do.
Free,
Right.
But that's not, I just got a weird vibe from him, like, okay, well, tell me. Like, he wasn't excited, like, in explaining, this is what.
Right.
Is going to catch those guys that are out there that already, this is what's going to catch the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why.
Yeah. Well, I do want to talk to you about that tonight, and just so our minds are staying sharp, and so, we because if we can put anything together to help them, if we can give them some positive direction, when I heard that whole thing, my reaction was kind of like, well, okay, like, okay, what? Okay, then what? Like, because that is, for you and I, the DNA, well, that's a huge bit of hope right there. Like, but it almost sounded like it was a leverage point, like it felt to me like he looked at phone records and realized we're in an affair, and now wants to just like bully you into saying that we're involved with that part, you know, with a murder, you know. And it's like, so anyways, it just seemed to me like that was more of what he was going with. But I could be completely wrong, and I want to talk to you about some other things that I thought too. So, anyways.
Okay, well, that's why I have, it is hard to, like I said, all of this is just so unreal to me that it's like, it's hard to take it in and then continue to juggle, you know, kids and everything, and so that's why I do just, like, I do appreciate your support. I feel like you've helped me so much, you know, in this time. I really do. I feel like you've helped me a lot, and I feel like your love has been so powerful, and I felt like, I mean, I know everybody loved me before, you know, but I don't know. And then one thing too, like I said, it's like grieving cute for Rob. Like I don't want to just place that on some back burner. Like this is so crazy, and it hurts. It does hurt so bad, you know. Just like Rob had, I feel like my mom pushed me out and he caught me, you know. And so it's just life. It's just, you know, God's and then in it all, here we go again. I'm just sounding like such a broker on record, but in it all, I just go, wow, like it's such a short time, and you find your purpose, and or you make this mark, and like I do feel like Rob made such a mark, and he made such a mark on us, and the kids just, they were, I have Robert's ashes. Leanna, we made these clear like ornaments, and then Leanna did insist, like she was just like, Mom, can I have one? And the thing with the ashes had been weird to me, just because I'm just like, you know, and I don't want it to be like accessible where they could like, the kids would spill them, and I'm vacuuming up Robert's ashes, like that would be so upsetting to me, you know?
Yeah.
But so they are up on a shelf in Leanna's room because she really wanted one in the house. So I'm like, okay, just a little bit, you know, but you could see them. And Matthew was just so cute. He was all, I miss Rob. And then he's all, I never seen ashes before. And I said, I hadn't either, baby. And then he goes, my family, he said, we like to see them so we can cry with them. And the Mexicans do. They want to see, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's all part of their Dia la Muerta thing.
Yeah. So I just gave him a hug and I said, oh, baby, you know, I miss Rob too. It was cute. But anyways, it's, this whole thing is just like, I just feel like, wow, you know, and Jonathan, I was just hoping it didn't, like I was hoping we could find somebody before that it even came down to that, you know. So, but we'll figure it out. But I do really look forward to seeing you, just because, you know, I do feel like you have been this love for me, and the support for me that,
I do love you, and you know, this whole time and such a shakeup. I know, and I can only imagine what a shakeup it's been for, you know, for you, for our relationship. But I don't want it to be, you know, I don't want it to devastate our relationship. I want to have an amazing relationship with you. I really do.
I do
And
too.
I want a future with you, and you are that girl, and I love you so much. And
Oh, thank you. thank you for letting me through all this. I mean, I do, I feel so grateful, you know, that you haven't ran far away. Thank you.
I love you. But, you know, it's not been me, it's been God, really. This whole time, I mean, he's of course he's working through me to minister to you, and he's ministering to me through you. But it's a God thing. It's a God thing all the way. It is a God thing all the way. He knows what he's doing, and he knows the work that he's doing in our hearts. And he wants it to put us on our knees, both knees before him, looking to him and surrendering to his will. And saying, not our will, but your will be done, God. You know,
Yeah.
I just feel it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. And I feel like, you know what, and I have not been perfect, Jonathan, you know, and those are areas like I've talked to you about, like, please help me with them, you know, I want to know where I can get better, you know. And I felt God so much, and just, I surrender, you know, like I surrender my life to him. And because I can't do this, you know, and I can't do this without Rob. I can't do this without you. I can't do this. I can't do this without God. Because I didn't know how I was even going to get by without Rob. Like, to hear that, it's just like, oh my gosh. Like, because obviously, he was my everything, you know. He was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know. And God has given me the strength to get this far. So, and same for you, like, you know, God has shown you a lot of things, and there's a purpose for all of the things that God has shown us. So.
There sure is, Sabrina. We owe him our lives.
I just, like I said, I guess the only thing I could, and this is a silly wish, but it's like, gosh, I wish you would have just been one of those like, people that called me after and like, okay, Brina, or met me after, you know, but it didn't happen like that. You know?
Yeah, I wonder why our story wasn't that way, you know, like really, why, you know, why do things happen the way they happen? Well, because God knows what he's doing. And I don't feel like, honestly, I don't feel like we would be so broken, and we wouldn't be so contrite, and we wouldn't be so humble. The lesson wouldn't get off too easy, and the lesson wouldn't stick if it wasn't that we were in fear of the world finding out that we have been cheaters, you know, that we have.
Hey, are they even allowed to, like, publicize that?
Well, yeah. Not exactly like that, not in a slanderous way, but if it's in like a nexus to a crime, say if they're saying because they were having an affair, that is the reason we think he did it. That is published in the
Right, I realize that, but they would have to know that, you know, so like as far as, if that DNA, what he said is true, then that is our statement, that's right there, you know, like, okay, good, you know, there you go, you know, and, but other than that, you know, he just sounded really weird about it. It wasn't like, yeah, well, and here's how it's gonna work, so check it out. You know.
He's
Oh, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Does it mean enough?
A little bit.
Not so much.
Breaking up a little bit, but I think better.
Can you hear me better over here?
Yeah.
Okay. I do kind of feel like he's taking a shot in the dark and just kind of hoping that, like, you're gonna, you know, he might not have even seen himself on record either. He might have missed the affair, but now he's down to the point where he's like, okay, it's gotta be something. It's gotta be something deliberate. It's gotta be something, you know, because, you know, like, this is what they do for a living. So they're going to sit there and they're like, could it be this? Yes or no? Verify that. It's not this. So they've narrowed it down to probably 10 things, and it's one of these 5 or 10 things. And so they're going to go through each with a fine-tooth comb. You know, that he might not have cell phone records. He might not have, clearly he doesn't have DNA. I mean, that, like, clearly he doesn't have a DNA match, you know? But he can use those things as shots in the dark to sort of reach down each one of these 5 or 10 areas. So he can sit down with Corey and say, hey, so do you know this other guy? Yeah, well, or you know, you could sit down with Corey if he thinks Corey's the one who did it. And he'd be like, hey, so we got DNA. So that's.
I just, Corey. Corey said, I asked if he'd heard anything or that, like, what's it like up in Tehachapi? And he said that, no, nothing. He said that, about 3 weeks, he said 2 or 3 weeks ago, he went in for DNA and fingerprints in his wife.
From a man's wife, you said?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You said him and his wife?
Yes, his wife.
Okay.
And fingerprints and DNA. I'm like, okay, so like, you know, those are people that could have been in the shop.
Right.
And then they said, so what is it like up? But you haven't heard, like, somebody in Ashby has to talk, you know. And he was like, no, nothing. And he just like, it's just kind of nothing. No, won't tell us anything. And then he said, I guess there's the guard on patrol. And I guess he took off the other. He was like, okay, whatever. And then he's all, you're safe. Don't even worry about it. Like, and he had said something about Corey had said, like, it has to be, like, we can't, there's nothing that we can release right now.
Corey said that?
In the Tehachapi paper.
Wait, the Tehachapi paper said there's something that there's nothing they can release from it?
And at this time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've read all those newspaper, all the paper articles, and that's just kind of.
I don't look at any of that stuff just because I feel like it's negative energy. What did they say?
It was. I don't know which he's referencing, but like everything up there, they haven't mentioned anything since August, late August, and just back then it just said there's like no further information. There's like, and it wasn't like we know something we can't say. It's just there's no information.
But he made it sound like he read.
What the? No information, or like.
Mm-hmm. Like no information at this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And then he said, he also said, I go, oh, well, the detective said they're re-releasing the video, and he's all, the same video? I said, yeah, and he's all, that's weird. And I said, yeah, well, and he wants me to come in to talk to him. He's all, for you? He's all, for what? Or, no, he didn't ask, like, for what, he's just all, like, he wants you to come in, and then I said, yeah, for, like a final interview or something like that. Like what, I'm not quite sure, but like a final testimony. And he just said it's like on procedure. And then he goes, oh, okay, gotcha. It's like, yeah, well, that's weird. He's like, yeah, there's like weird stuff, like it doesn't, you know. And I was all, Corey, it just doesn't make sense, like so random. He's all, you know. He's like, yeah, tell me about it, you know, like. So, can you like, is there, like, is it procedure? We won't talk about it. Okay. So that's all that he said. He was just like, but yeah, he said like, but this was my understanding, like what he said. He was just like, yeah, like pretty much like he took off, and then he was all, and he said he's like kind of made friends with the cops that have been up there. They take shifts, and then he was all, you're totally good. Like you have nothing to worry about. Trust me.
Meaning, like, you're no harm's gonna come to you, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Mm.
I guess. That's what Corey said, that he said.
Mm.
So he was like, he thought that was kind of, he was like, huh.
Oh, the cop said that to Corey.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought Corey was saying that to you. Okay.
No, the cop told Corey that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a buddy's gonna tell another person that, like, you know, some young guy is tripping out, like, no, I don't think anything, or whatever, and then he's gonna be like, dude, don't, or, like, you have nothing to worry about, like, don't worry about it, you know, because obviously it wasn't Corey, you know.
Well, okay, what do you mean? Like, he just pretty much told him he's safe where Rob was murdered, you know, like, don't even worry about it, dude, like, it's, I don't know, it just, I was like, oh, that's bizarre, Corey. Like, he thought it was weird that he said that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knew something that he wasn't telling him.
Right, gotcha.
That's what Corey said.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to know, because DMSS police aren't the ones doing the investigation. So, funny to me that, you know, like, I don't know. It's just, there's so many, whenever you have humans involved in something, you don't know if he's, you know, he might be talking.
Seriously, that's why I haven't even gone there with anything from, like, looking at anything, but I don't want to be naive, just like you told me.
Right.
You know, just like,
Right.
because as soon as it's, like,
I think we just have to be
after the shock factor hit me with Robert, like, what? You know, it's like, I just remember sitting on my living room floor and just going, oh my gosh, like, how did this happen? And then I was just thinking, like, you know, oh my gosh, like, you know, like, I just, this is just so crazy, you know. But other than that, I haven't gotten into feeding off of any of that negative stuff out there, you know, because it doesn't do any good, you know.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
And my
You're
focus
so right.
has just been, you know, like focus on the kids, and you know, and like I said, I have had feeling like, well, you know, Rob wouldn't want to be in a wheelchair. Robert, you know, like it was just, this was God's time for him, and I just found like people actually coming out of the woodworks, just like saying, it's left a positive, Rob's life left a positive impact on them, you know? And so for me to be also a part of that, I felt so blessed, you know? And just like the memories that my kids have, and that they're actually off, you know, playing right now, and not even playing like killing or anything, like they're just like, God has a plan for us. Yeah. And Daddy's our guardian angel, you know, and so, you know, and then I do feel like you being a Christian man, you know, like, wow, okay, God, like, so you're passing the puck to me and letting me figure out some things on my own, and you want me to be a Christian woman and live for you, and you want Jonathan to lead his family, you know?
That's what I have felt.
And I even thought, like Rob and I did, you know, separate and just figure out things and negative, but it's like God didn't want that for him or for me, for the kids, you know? So I didn't know what was going to happen in the relationship after. Just like, okay, hold on, like, I know what's happening, you know, like I cannot think about us, like this isn't even real, you know? And then and like I said, I don't even want to use the word closure, but like as I started grasping life again, you know, and just like, okay, I have to live for the kids. I cannot drink alcohol anymore. I cannot be around, I can't expose my children to the life that I was living, because I've lived it. I've lived it with Rob, you know? And then bringing you in the picture and just knowing that, like, I know you. I know you, you know, because I think it was even more of a scary feeling being like, oh my gosh, I don't have anybody, and I'm still young. And like, if I'm out there on the single track, like, I can't trust anybody with my family. I can't trust anybody with my kids. I can't trust anybody with my heart or my body or my mind or my soul. I can't, you know, because that would be such a process to do again too, you know, like just even, but because it was just like, wow, I have Jonathan, you know, and I do trust him with my mind and my body and my heart and my soul. Okay, God, this is what I guess you really do want me to be with him, you know?
That's what I felt. That's what I felt, and I feel like that is our purpose. I really do. And just coming under question, you know, doesn't, you know, I don't feel like that sways me from our purpose. I don't feel like, I really don't. Feel like it.
And we'll talk about everything, because I'm not even, I mean, there's things that I think, and I'm just like, I have a bad mind, so there's just things that, you know, I want you to talk to me about anything you've been thinking everything, anything. So do you feel like you've had a good day today?
A lot of highs and lows, like, spiritually, just like, or not lows, like regrets or like sins, but just like I feel God's hope and love, and then I feel God's sovereignty and the depth of who He is, and just like, the seriousness of His displeasure with my life as a gallivanter, as a selfish man, I feel His displeasure with that, so.
And it is like humbling ourselves. I even feel bad and just like being my chipper self. Like I've always been, and I'm known for my sunshine, right? I mean, that's what everybody knows me for, And it's like, I feel horrible about who I am. It's almost like, when I get that skip back in my step.
Right here, what's up? Yeah. Let's do it though. I remember to grab dinner.
You're gonna go grab dinner?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. We'll go eat something.
What's going on? Sorry.
So do you guys take the engine and you go get dinner?
Yeah.
Where are you guys gonna go, do you know?
They're arguing about that, I know.
Well, I'm down for whatever. I haven't even eaten today. I had a piece of string cheese. My mom's all, "You look thin." So are you, Mom?
I have not been very angry. I'm just really praying and stuff. But yeah, I also find a purpose in, this is, like, God knows the end of the story. God knows the end of the story. And we can, we need to take care of what He's given us, to take care of the relationships He's given us, to take care of the body He's given us, to take care of, take care of the friendships He's given us. And we do what we need to do with what He's given us. We can't drop everything in order because that's what Satan wants us. It's just something come to a crying call and fear. God knows the end of the story. And yes, there's something to say for, giving up some, selfish pleasures or whatever, giving up some selfishness and don't be indulging yourself and, but there's also, take care of what you've got and sleep and, eat and sleep and be healthy and live for God, live for God in everything you do. Leave a testimony of God behind every word that we touch and every person we talk to. And so, I want to do that with you, baby. I really do.
You know what? Okay, I'm gonna take note sooner now. Because even if there's things that I should ask, like outside of like your ass, I should ask the detective. Things I should ask the detective.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like when I even have them on the phone, I'm like, I ask them a couple things and they'll be all, okay. And they'll be all, okay, is that it? What's that?
Sorry, you kind of broke up for a second there. You said if there's things you should ask the detective.
Yeah, like if there's things, outside of just like in this investigation, just because I feel like, okay, they've been investigating, like they told me they're doing their job, so I'm going to let them do their job, and like I do feel like somebody has to know something out there, like they're investigating what happened to Robert, and so I feel like I let them, you know, do their job, and then, but then, you know, in those questions, like, I don't know what I've asked him or what to ask him, because it's all like a blur, you know, so like, even if I can sit down with him, you know, maybe ask him some questions, you know, I mean, he did tell me not to dwell on that stuff.
I was
You know,
gonna say we should definitely think of, you know, of all aspects of this. And tonight when we get talking, let's not, you know, I think there's importance in writing it down while you're thinking about it, you know. And so,
because you know that's the best thing for me.
well, for me and for people throughout history, and that's how the Bible was written. God, you know, give some information, some wisdom to someone, write it down so you can share it with others, you know. So
I love that.
there's importance in that, and I do would be wise. So
Go nourish your beautiful body and
if you have nothing to you tonight.
okay.
I'll call you later on.
Okay, that sounds great. You take it.
Record reflect that 47F was placed for the jury. Please.
Your Honor, I would request, I would request to play 47J at this time.
Mr. Terry.
Submitted.
47J is in Juliet. Will be played. Deputy Barron will hand out the transcript. All right, Mr. Smith, looks like all members of the panel have a copy.
I'm playing November 11, 2014 at 21:53 hours.
Hello.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Hey, I might come a little bit later tonight.
Why? What's going on?
There's a truck that definitely keeping eyes on you.
Really?
Yeah. I need to get fuel, so.
You need to what?
I need to go get fuel, so, cause I had just enough, I figured to go kind of back and forth and kind of check things out, but I need to go back into town and grab fuel. And then
Or keeping money.
I'll call you back in a little bit, okay?
Okay.
All right. I love you.
Okay. I love you too.
I love her.
47J was cited for the jury. Smith. Please.
Your Honor, I would request to play 47H at this time. I apologize, 47G.
47G, Mr. Terry, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
47G as in golf. Deputy Barron will hand out the transcript. Record reflect that all the members of the panel have a copy. Mr. Smith.
Now playing November 11, 2014 at 21:57 hours.
Hello. Hey.
I didn't mean to stress you out with that. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I don't know what to expect. Obviously, they're interested in you and I, or we kind of brought this upon ourselves. But I mean, nothing to stress about, obviously, because there's no. I hope I make it back into town. I'm sorry. Hey, what's with me and my fuel?
Hey, please.
I can never seem to keep it full. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Why,
So anyway, there was a red Titan parked, 2 houses down from you. Guys standing outside of it. And then, so I creep back around. I approach them straight on now, and so now I've got my headlights on them, you know? And now it's a guy and a girl, and they don't look like they're dressed to be standing outside, but they are. They're like, you know, the girl looks cold. She looks like she doesn't normally wear the kind of clothes she's wearing. She looks like like uncomfortable, hair pulled back into a barrette, like just awkward, like it doesn't enough to like look, and then the other guy looked kind of not like hair, but like he's trying. Well, I think he's trying to.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
He's trying to like look the part, kind of, you know, just like flat brim hat, all that kind of stuff on. And
Mexican?
what's that?
Are they Mexican?
No, they're white, and they both look like typical cops trying to pretend not to be cops. And so then I drive past, and then as I like approach, it's not like they're just standing out front just to stand out front. Like they're standing there, like looking for, like to have eyes on everybody that's going past, kind of thing. And so, because they're both staring straight at me, even though my headlights are blinding them, they can't see me. So I went up to the boulevard, came back down, and just then they're driving past. So now I lock in behind them, and I think they realize that now I'm behind them. And so then they just go straight through the intersection, you know? And then, and there's nothing over there except the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they just, then they head straight. So then I head left. So then they turn left at the next street where that comes out. And so then I turn right into the parking lot of the gas station right there. And then he turns left again to pretty much head back towards your house. And again, my headlights are like on him, and I see like the window's halfway down, and he's like looking around a lot, you know. So they're obviously on the lookout or whatever. But I don't know what it's for. It's just like hey, I don't know, like nothing new to you or your neighbors or them. I mean, I think they probably have figured out by now that we know each other. So it's like, I don't know.
Do you think we're paranoid?
I think I might be just a little bit, because I'm like, what's going on here? This whole thing is weird, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Thank you. That's a good reminder.
Down the street, I mean, I know that, like that one time, there was even a cop, and he was like, we're watching, I mean, there's a lot of traffic next door. There's a lot of going on next door. You know that.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know how hot it is, It's like, I mean, and sometimes like the traffic is just nuts, and then it's been pretty quiet this weekend, but like the guy that's usually there, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're being paranoid. Like seriously, what? I mean, at this point, like, as far as like our gas feelings go, that like we haven't committed a crime. You're not committing a crime coming over here.
Yeah.
Like you're not, and we.
I know. I guess I'm just like, why? What do you like? Yeah. You're completely right. I'm just all like skeptical. I'm just like, why? What do you look at? Like, why? But and it's. I need to just humble myself, and it's like, hey, it's in God's hands. And thank you so much for that reminder. It's I feel like
our sin is between us and God,
Yeah.
and like it's not a crime. I don't know if the detective's ever been unloyal to his wife, or if that guy in the truck has, or I don't know, but
I seriously though, he's been unwell to his wife.
Um,
He's a pretty by the book, like mechanical thinker, and his wife like makes custom furry blankets, and they're like the perfect little Baker Skills couple.
you think so?
Oh, I know so.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing of it is maybe they might be, but they're not perfect, you know, and none of us are. So, you know, that's the whole thing that like I just humbled myself to like. There is no way that pointing fingers are right, you know, like the detectives have a job to do. As far as like why hey
That's why that is kind of person death.
what is it? Oh, I can't hear you at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Perfect. Can you hear me? Can you hear me yet?
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Anyway, that's the best kind of personnel on the case. Somebody who's by the book and somebody who's a mechanical thinker and just black and white and, you know, positive or negative. Was this person there or not? Because that's going to be, I know, you know, it looks suspicious. Okay, yeah, this guy is with her at the time of this whole thing going down, but it's like, well, you know, I'm hoping he is a good investigator, not just a feelings-based assumer, you know, because it is a weird situation. So,
Well, you weren't there. I wasn't there. And, you know what my sister told me tonight?
sure.
My sister came over and she's like, I don't know what she said. And she said that one of the guys that knows Randy from the railroad, he said he catch Randy. They caught the guy. You know? And I'm like, what? Like, really? Do you think that's, you know? My sister well, no. They just talk, you know? So,
Isn't it crazy how, like, within a couple people, like, it goes from one mouth to the next? And at some point, it probably started with, like,
that's why I have completely blocked all of it out, you know, but
Yeah.
I feel that I also need to come back and feel, you know, because I just felt like, you know what, this purpose and you focus on God and those words are actually being put into play due to like the unknown, you know, and that is life, you know, the unknown is it's God's, like you said, He's at the beginning and the end, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know I've watched a lot of those shows, and so I think that's why I'm just like, oh my gosh, like that is why I was just like, oh my gosh, like we have a history, and we pull up our history, like here we go, you know, but whatever, like we don't even know, we don't know, we don't know, you know, and I have looked out the window because it's like I worried about, oh, well, you know, I don't want anybody to see you. I don't want anybody to think anything or talk. And now it's like, oh gosh, that's the least of our worries. But then it's like, okay.
But it's the least of our worries. But at the same time, like, there's like the thoughts of, well, being wise and careful and all that.
Yeah, no, and that's still huge. I mean, that's still on the list of you know, importance and priorities, you know, just because, you know, like I said, Jonathan, I just feel how things have happened, and,
Hey, baby,
yeah.
could you pray that I make it into town?
Were you gonna come out here and get stuck?
No, I had enough to get back into town, I thought. I'm hoping. Hey, can I call you back?
Yeah.
Like my lover.
Record reflected People's 47G as in golf was placed for the jury. We'll take our morning recess there, ladies and gentlemen. 15 minutes. Remember not to form or express any opinion or discuss the case. We'll see you back in 15 minutes.
6 is in session.
All right, we'll go back on the record on People versus Limon. She's present in court with her attorney and the people are represented. You have Mr. Hearn still on the stand. Under oath, subject to direct by Mr. Smith and all 12 plus 4 in the box. Mr. Smith, if you'd like to continue.
People request to play 47H at this time.
Terry, the objection.
Submitted.
47H is in hotel will be provided to the jury. Deputy Barron will hand those out. Everybody have a copy? All right. We're all set, Mr. Smith.
Now playing November 11, 2014 at 22:14 hours.
Hello?
Hey, I'm sorry. You know what? I've just been kind of stressed about that whole thing. Do you think we could meet up tomorrow? I'm thinking about just kind of heading back home and then maybe meeting with you tomorrow. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. What number was that?
Okay. Bye.
Reflect 47H was placed for the jury, Mr. Smith.
People request to play 47K at this time.
Mr. Chair, any objection?
Submitted.
If you played for the jury, 47K is in kilo. All right, the record reflected Deputy Barron has handed out the transcript. All jurors have a copy. Mr. Smith, please.
Now playing November 11, 2014 at 22:16 hours.
Hello?
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Hey, you know, I was gonna try to kind of be there listening to my phone, like they're just tapping on my calls, or if they're tapping your phone as well, or what. So I figured I was just gonna say, like, hey, you're not talking tonight. I just got gas. Thank you. This is an internet service provider. This is not my phone number.
Obviously.
Yeah,
The whole this one number almost gave me a heart attack. Oh.
I am so sorry. I totally forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that's my
Oh my God. I was like, okay.
I'm
It's
so
like
sorry, baby.
perfectly clear that, how can you tell if the phones are, I mean, is there any, like, I kind of
Well,
like,
that was the thing is, I was just gonna call and say, hey, I'm not coming, and then see if they are like, he's probably just gonna go home tonight and catch him in the morning, you know?
okay.
I mean, catch him in the morning, like, see him in the morning, I don't mean catch him in the morning,
Yeah.
clearly. Anyway, baby, thank you so much for praying. Hey, this just shows me, God is a big God, and He listens to even the littlest of prayers coming up from those He loves. You know, I was driving along, and I remember there being a gas station, because I still don't have my wallet, and
Yeah.
all I have is my credit card, no debit card, and so I was looking, and it was just Arco, and then I was all, oh no, I think there's another gas station up here. And that one was an Arco as well. I started at 7th Street, and my truck started to sputter a little bit. So, oh no. God heard our prayers, baby, and I thought this gas station, I thought it was closed down, but it was actually open, and well, the gas station was closed down, but the pump still worked, so I got diesel, so yay, thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Hey, can I ask you a big favor?
Yeah,
Let's keep your truck filled up.
yeah, I will.
I mean, I don't know. I just, I mean, no matter, I mean, you know,
I will.
if they're, say like, hey, I have cash, like, I'll give you cash.
I got some things to talk to you about. Hey, since this is an internet phone number, it's gonna die as soon as I get out of the town here.
Okay.
So,
Do you want to park behind?
you know, I'm sure they're just gonna kind of cruise the area. So, I don't think, for me, it's like, you know, hey, this is no secret to anyone. I don't think. I mean, everyone kind of knows. But if they're reading into our phone history, they kind of know that we're together.
Well, if you park like as if it's the neighbors. Can you hear me? Like you do, like you have, you know? Then whatever, you know?
Right. I'll just be mindful of them whenever they, you know, just looking for, just keeping my head up kind of thing, heads up. So.
Yeah.
All right, baby. Well, pretty soon I think this number is this internet's gonna die out as I approach the rocks again. So I will be there in like 15, 20 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Probably like 15 minutes.
Okay.
I love you so much, my girl. I love you so much. Please keep praying and I'll keep praying and I'll look for God.
47K was placed for the jury. Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Mr. Hearn, drawing your attention to page 1, lines 11 through 12, you said this is an internet service provider. This is not my phone number, obviously. What type of phone were you calling from? What service?
From a Skype phone number that I had on my iPhone.
And why were you doing that?
based on the audio recording, it was just to, I guess my thought was to provide one piece of information over on my normal phone number, and then a different piece of information over the internet service provider. That way I could see if there had been any reaction, might help me anticipate which phone lines they're listening to.
Now, when you say any reaction, what were you looking for?
Well, specifically, based on how that truck that I described parked nearby, it seemed to me that it was a vehicle positioned for like apprehension or arrest, not so much surveillance, but actually with the way that the people were positioned, it seemed like they were looking to make some sort of positive movement. So and my thought was I would just say over my normal phone number that I was going home, and then return to her house. That way it could maybe give me a chance to get in unnoticed, at least for a few minutes.
Now, when you did return to Miss Limon's home, where did you park and what did you do?
That evening, I don't recall. I went over there so often in the evenings that typically I would park either nearby or around a corner, typically.
Okay. Staying on page 1, lines 4 through 5, you make the statement, I was going to try to kind of see if they're listening to my phone like they're just tapping all my calls, or if they're tapping your phone as well. Do you recall making that statement?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to page 2, Miss Limon, line 5, says, how can you tell if the phones are, is there any like, I've kind of tried, and then you cut her off by your next statement. Did you speak with Miss Limon what steps she had tried to do to verify whether or not the phones were tapped, if you recall?
The only thing I remember is that she had mentioned a couple times she had noticed faint beeping sounds on some of her calls, but that's the only thing we really discussed as far as that she had noticed.
Okay. That evening that the wiretap is from, November 11th, did you think you were going to be arrested that day?
I did.
Talk a lot about the stress. What physical manifestations had you gone through due to thinking the investigation was obviously pointed at you and Miss Limon?
You know, for some time, I was already running on very little sleep and very little energy just because of my schedule compiled with all of the extra visits that I was making out to her house, which is some distance from where I lived, probably 40 minutes away. So frequently commuting, drinking a lot of caffeine just to sort of get by, staying up all night, and then going back to work in the morning. So on top of just the tiredness and fatigue, you mentioned the stress. Her question in one of these recordings about us being paranoid, I think that would probably be the best word to describe my mind state right around this period. It was sort of the culmination of, I would say, first and foremost, a really grievous spiritual condition that I was feeling, just a weighty soul, compiled with all of the physical stress, the tiredness, the fatigue, and then obviously sort of little signs here and there that I seemed to feel were a tightening vice around us as far as the investigation was concerned.
In the call, I believe when you observed the red Titan, a couple times you said, we'll talk about it later on. Do you recall what you spoke about with Ms. Limon November 11, 2014?
Specifically on that night, I don't recall, but I do have some recollection of conversations consisting of a lot of the things that were alluded to here. Probably most of the conversations that we ended with discussing, or ended with saying that we would discuss them later. Those were the topics at hand as far as wiretapping, the potential fruits of the investigation or possible evidence. Again, we rehearsed whether or not there would be any possible DNA. Sort of replayed the scene as to whether or not I could have been detected, whether or not there could have been witnesses. It was generally speaking a really aggressive rehashing of everything, just to sort of figure out where the investigation process was at. Also, we were considering a lot of off-the-wall possibilities as far as, I think I mentioned yesterday, other, BNSF possibly being involved, or other private investigators being involved. Though this time, I mentioned it over the phone, I know previously, or prior to this night, I had told her at least, I think 2 other times when I had suspected people following more at a surveilling distance, couple vehicles that I had noticed a couple times. And so those were just some of the things that were starting to culminate into recognition that we were probably becoming the targets. And obviously in some of these recordings you've already heard, we're not necessarily very sly in how we're talking. Sabrina being pretty chipper, and myself being kind of a square, pretty analytical, but not very street smart necessarily, or it was obviously sort of taking the bait that was being set for us there. So the investigation was very effective in that degree.
In the calls from November 11th, a lot of times you're talking about an affair. Did that have deeper meaning than just the affair?
It did. It did.
What was its deeper meaning as shared between you and Sabrina?
What was its meaning as far as you were concerned?
Okay. Its meaning as far as I was concerned, based on previous discussions with Sabrina, was that we would absolutely avoid any conversation about being culpable for the murder. So to avoid that, we would go no further than speaking about our affair and those improprieties.
Your Honor, if I could have an item marked as it relates to people's 48 previously testified to by Detective Hubbard, Sergeant Hubbard.
This will be a transcript for 48, Mr. Smith?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, I would request to move People's 48 into evidence at this time. As stated before, it is audio testified to by Sergeant Hubbard yesterday.
So Terry, any objection?
Submitted.
It'll be admitted, counsel.
Request to play 48A at this time.
Proceed. Seen a copy of that, Mr. Terry?
I have a copy.
Any objection? I'm sorry, counsel.
I'll submit it.
Thank you. Deputy Barron, I hand out a copy of the transcript. The actual evidence is what you hear, not what you read. Purpose of the transcript is to help you follow along. All right, Mr. Smith, looks like all members have a copy.
Playing November 12th, 2014 at 19:07 hours.
Hello.
Hey, baby, I'm so sorry. For some reason, my phone hung up on you.
Oh, that's okay.
What did you hear?
Oh, messages. Oh, well, I just, you spent many times talking to me and listening to me, and I appreciate during this time that you are understanding and supportive and loving and I have peace in my heart. I almost just have like a total peace, to where, I don't know, maybe I can get some good sleep tonight,
Good. Good. Oh, good. God is our rock and our fortress and our
But
comfort.
really though, like my feeling, my feeling of just feeling sin, I just felt its purpose, like, oh my gosh, and I want to stay so humble and grateful, Yeah. So, but I see, and I feel guilty for laying in bed right now. I'm serious.
What do you feel like you should be doing?
I should just be on my knees, like on the phone. I shouldn't even be relaxed in bed. I should just, after I get up, I'm not even going to talk about it. I just feel like God wants me to stay on my knees,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
God has a purpose in that feeling. God wants us to feel motivated to live for Him. God wants us to feel that, like, I should be lazy right now. And He wants us to act on it. But also at the same time, God wants us to relinquish our pride and just recognize He has saved us. And He's already done the work. We live lives of appreciation for the work that He's done, and we cheer because He has completed the work in us. He has saved our souls. He has blessed our hearts. And so, it's our conscience that bothers us when we recognize and see the dirty, rotten people that we've been, and kind of like, oh God, I'm gonna live for you. But those actions, we need to be careful, because, you know, we could also become people who just do deeds without faith. And it says in the Bible that
Just as a minor, hey, should we not have a meeting with the crime lab in the morning? I may be about 5 to 10 minutes late. I'm so sorry. I'm coughing sick in Mississippi. I may be 5 to 10 minutes. When you're right, go to building B and check in with the receptionist. Are you listening to me?
yeah. I didn't know if you were.
Yeah. Hey, Sabrina, I have a meeting with the crime lab in the morning. I may be about 5 to 10 minutes late. When you arrive, go to building B and check in with the receptionist.
Okay. Are you, that's all good, right?
Yeah?
Good. Nothing changes that faith, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think that doesn't sound bad, does it?
Yeah. Just, I mean, obviously, like you said, or like we talked about earlier, or like he mentioned, he's the cop, and the crime lab are the people who are more of the science people, so they're probably going to say, like, they're probably going to just, like, help him show, like, okay, well, here's what we found, here's where we found it. Like, they need to go over all the details so that he can put it in his paperwork, you know? So this is a good thing, you know? It's a good thing for sure.
But I look forward to talking with you. Should I say that? Okay, that's fine. Please take your time. I look forward to talking to you. Thank you.
Anyways, I'm sure they're just going to kind of meet and talk, if that's, you know.
Yeah, well.
Probably mostly the DNA. I don't know. There might be other stuff that they found too, you know, all that stuff. It's good that he's having that meeting before he talks to you, because then you can ask the questions like, hey, so what's next? You know, any matches? Was there a match found? Because that's the big thing. Is like, I think that's going to be a huge indicator of, okay, well, DNA was found. Great. There's DNA on everything. Let's figure out whose it is now. You know.
Okay.
So, good.
Right. Well, I think I do. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Hey, and if he had seriously, like, he would have already done that crime lab. I'm way more at ease. I really am. No, I don't want to get.
Well, and I think, I mean, I don't know, it's tough, because I know, like we've talked in person, and, you know, our natural human curiosity, like, you want to know who it is just as much as the rest of us.
Of course.
But at the same time, it's like, it is, you know, that ease of, like, understanding that it is in God's hands, and it is in these guys, they're professionals, and they're working on it, you know, and so, I think it's a good thing.
Oh, my whole thing is I just don't want our dirty laundry aired for no reason. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
so.
And this might be
Exactly. So.
God, please help the DNA thing to be the way in which we are kept from having our dirty laundry aired. But we have been sinners, and we have cheated. We've been committers of adultery. But God, you're a Savior, and you've saved us, and you have shifted our thinking, God. Before we had it so justified, we had it so where we thought the so clearly that we were right, and God, we're just, there's so much selfishness. There's so much selfishness, God. We're sorry for that, but God, please let this be our constant reminder to live through. Let this be our constant reminder to look to the heavens, to recognize that you are our Savior. God, please help us to, please help this, whatever the crime lab has found, whatever it may be, God, please help this to be a method, a mode that keeps our story from being an issue, our story from being told. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Well, I actually feel so much better about that. Like, he wouldn't just text me that he was going to be late. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, he'd be there. You know, I mean, it could be anything, but I just feel, and it's not even like I feel like I should get up off my knees. Not at all. My heart just has peace about it. You know what I mean? It's not anxious. It's not scared. It's just prepared and ready to, and I give it to God, you know? And so with that, it's just like I have this peace, you know? Like if I was there shaking like a leaf or looked bad or nervous, like, hey, what's up, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't at all, not at all.
I'm so glad we were able to give an extra day and just think things over and take
I woke up not feeling well. I mean, you know,
right.
And you know what? Once again, I thank you for giving me time to mourn and giving me time to just kind of pray and just be, because it's so big, you know? And like I said, I can't even believe that it's my life, you know? But as I'm adjusting the children, as the loss of I was like, this is so crazy, you know? It's just like that habit was just sickening to think that, you know, that would be close to for people to like that wouldn't, you know what I was thinking too, that wouldn't give anybody any sense of peace.
Right.
Or hope. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would turn their faces away from God and onto away from God and hate and bitterness, and like not only is he dead, but now we have like hate for those, you know, and just like, because they don't understand. It wasn't their story. They didn't live it. They don't understand.
And they didn't know that side of Robert either. It's not like he's like, oh yeah, you know, like, you know, and that's not something that I want my kids to go back in the media and read years down the road, you know, or that I want to, you know, it's just not. So, that was just like, you know, the weight of my sin, I want to feel for as long as I need to, because it was a necessary feeling, and it did humble me like I have never been humbled before, just like we have no right to talk about anyone.
Thank you, baby. You reminded me.
No, I thank God, because seriously, it's like, and we've both done it, like,
So bad.
And I like talking to you about that.
Right.
Like now, I don't even want those words to like today. So I wrote the stuff and does it filter? Is it like a well, I'll figure it out on Friday. I'm gonna I have this out in the garage and I found it.
Oh, was the filter messed up?
Yeah, the K&N filter. Yeah, it just didn't pass. Not everything else passed, but the filter part. So so anyway, so I just, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's that deal. And let me look at something really quick. So, what, next Monday is the 16th. Okay. Anyhow, I'll probably go in Monday. Hopefully get that figured out so I can mail off the registration for the truck and take care of that stuff. But anyway, so that's what I did, and then I came home and I was just like driving home. I was just like sleepy, like tired. And I came home and like I'm gonna pull up in my driveway and like kids are like running in the street, like the kids are just getting out of school. And there's my mom and she's in my driveway and I can't get in my garage. So I go down and I'm like, Mom, like I need to stuff in the garage, you know. And so I did, and I'm just like, you know, here, you know, and she's spent a couple days down here, I've told you, you know. And I told you, like, those are precious. Those are times that we need to take, you know.
Yeah.
And she brings the kids ice cream, and like, Leanna just opens her. I know, but I'm like, Leanna doesn't eat like all day long. I know her. She doesn't, you know. And like, pack her like string cheese. I mean, it's even so tough to find like, what do I put in this kid's lunch? You know, like, what will she eat to nourish? Like, and they eat when they're hungry. But that's one thing. Like, I'm so funny when it comes to that stuff. Like, not just an ice cream bar. But
Right. Well, yeah, I agree. I don't
know.
think making kids eat for sure because it's like, well, when you get hungry, but like you're gonna eat the right things because anybody else spills sugar.
So she just comes in, and I just came in. I'm like super. I just want to come in to you know what I mean? Like someone is. It's just. There's always just. It's never just like okay, you know. And Robbie had Jeremiah with them. That's just he always, you know. And Robbie's just like, I had a great day. He's all like trying to like smile, you know. So I'm just like, there's my mom in the garage, Jeremiah, Robbie, Leanna, you know. Just like, so it was just like an instant like irritated feeling, you know, like what's up? What's up? We're just getting out of school. Like you guys go wash your hands. Let's regroup here. So, you know. And then my mom, she's so precious. And she's just slow moving and just like, you know, I mean, and you know, but I should just be more loved, like.
Yeah.
And I had been for 2 days, but no, she knew. She was like, well, she kind of got in trouble with Marie. I was like, Leanna, you're not eating that right now. I was like, Mom, they can eat ice cream up at your house, but like, you get couches to get down. And it's because it wasn't fair the other day when Leanna and Matthew had they're like the dry, whatever, like the Haagen-Dazs, like chocolate and nuts. Robbie doesn't even eat chocolate. I'm like, seriously, you? I wasn't like, I didn't push her down.
Real safe pusher.
Yeah, just like, what I said. No, of course not. But at the same time, it was just like, so because I'm tired, I failed.
Right.
You know, like if I would have come in and I would have been, you know, or if it would have been somebody else that I had to put on hi, how are you, too. But who should I love more and treat better than my parents, my old parents, you know, and who loves me more, you know, and so, anyways, they take patience now for me, you know, and so I was tested and I failed because I was tired, you know.
Well, the tires helped. The tires made it easy to fail, but you didn't fail because you were tired, really.
Yeah, I just fell, period. Yeah. I just fell, period.
And it was made so like.
I mean, tiredness didn't help it. I guess that's
right. Well, tiredness sure made it one quick step away from failing. You know.
Yeah. So anyhow, and then I felt bad. You know, I was just like, oh, that's no way to act. And so.
I'm glad you were able to talk to her.
Well, I just left her. So that was also nice. No, So anyway,
You're very tired, huh?
no, I just looked at my phone again to see if I got another message I had in the drawer. No, you know, I am. Yeah, I'm definitely tired. But I feel good. I mean, I don't feel like I can't keep my eyes open. I just feel tired. You know, I don't feel bad. But driving home, just like, I was driving and I was tired, you know, like,
sleepy,
super sleepy. And then, like I said, and then there's like all these kids running in the street, and then it's like, my mom's parked in the driveway, I can't get in with ice cream bars. You know, it's like,
like all the things.
Seriously, and those are the kind, like I said, I haven't, it seems like there's always somebody here, you know, and that's just how it feels right now, you know, but my job is to love them, you know, and it's really, really important to do, you know, and so
that is our
God
purpose.
wants me to do.
God's given us a purpose, and He's given us a chance with that purpose.
Yeah.
He's saying, hey, you deserve to be done. You deserve to be sat down on the sideline, kicked out of the game. We're giving you another chance. And it's like how quickly we.
Oh my God! And there's that feeling. It's just like, okay, boom. Let's see, I should have sat down with my mom and, you know.
And it is tough, and I get it, but you know what? That feeling needs to be there so that you can say, I'm sorry, God. I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to take advantage of the chances you keep giving us. And you know what, Sabrina? I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. And we are prone to sin. We are prone to fail. But let's get on our knees, say sorry, and remember at the same token, Satan is going to want to make us feel defeated. He's going to want to make us feel like there is no forgiveness. But there is, and God has forgiveness. He already has. He already has. So it should be a request.
And yeah, this is like, there's Satan, like, with his temptations and driving. This is God wanting, like, this is God breaking us down. And,
so I believe you then. And good.
Satan does want us to feel like that in certain times where, you know, and if I dwell too much on, like, even how I treated my mom or anything like that, of course, like that, like, you're, of course,
Right.
you know, or whatever, you know. But there's something that's really clear to me that no, this isn't like Satan trying just to say, give up and, like, you know, go back to your old lifestyle, do this, do that. No, this is a whole different feeling, you know.
I would say more specifically, Satan's going to want to make you feel defeated and feel like you're not forgiven. Like, you screwed up. God gave you a chance and you screwed up. And that's it now. You know, you're done. You know, God keeps renewing us. And He's not okay with us sinning by any means, and of course you know that. And I know that. He's not okay with us sinning, but when we do, to feel that feeling again, and say, oh God, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, and thank you for forgiving me. Are you still there?
Yeah. Thank you for forgiving me. Absolutely. Yeah. It's that feeling right there. It's just, wow. Because we don't deserve it, you know.
We sure don't.
But please save me, God, please, you know. And you might want that. I like that one. Are you reading that to your class? Oh, good girl. I like that book. Yeah. So, tell me what are you doing right now?
I'm cleaning my super filthy air register. I didn't realize how dirty it was. I bought a filter for my intake, my air duct intake, whatever it's called.
In the house?
Yeah, like the register where it hooks up the air into the air conditioning unit / heater. And the register was really dirty. I bought a new filter for it, so I was going to clean it real quick. It's dirty. So anyway, it's all clean now, and I'm just unpacking. I got some stuff at Target, some groceries, and some Fiber One bars that were on sale.
Do you like those?
From the couple that I've had are pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
So.
They kind of messed my stomach up. The kids, Leanna likes them.
Oh, really? They messed your stomach up?
Mm-hmm.
Like bloated or like?
Yeah, they kind of just, like bloated or kind of like cramp me out. Because I like them. They're good, you know. Yeah, she goes through like, sometimes she'll eat them, sometimes she won't. Because I like something, put one in her lunch, you know.
I noticed Quaker has like an oatmeal bar, like a cereal bar kind of thing, that has 10 grams of protein. And I was thinking of Leanna when I saw that. Might be one she would like. I don't know.
Seriously, even like a little cereal bar, if you put that up, she'd be like, keep that whole to me. It's so nice. Like, I mean, sometimes like if she's super hungry, and like you said, that's when they eat. But then so let's say that I go, okay, just eat half that. Okay, now she's off and running. The next thing she's gonna eat, she does. You know, it's just. It's consistency.
You know what? That is one of the least of my worries with the kids. I know they're going to be well taken care of, and my nutritional ideas are quite similar to yours. Maybe just a little bit less frequency, which I think tends to make the digestive system a little more regular. You know. And I like totally see eye to eye with you on your, you know, on nutrition. I think it's important, and I think.
And I don't want to like sleep away from Leanna completely, because that's her. You know, she loves. She's funny because she won't. It's not like she likes everything. Like. She doesn't like cake. She just takes it, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, anyways, Robbie definitely eats a lot better. So, it's just part of just kind of her little finicky ways, you know? But, anyway, you got some Butterfly bars, you got some groceries.
I didn't hear the last thing you said.
I said you went to Target, you got some groceries.
I did. And got my check, got the banking stuff done, got stuff paid off, back up the hill. Got
that looks good.
Yeah, I did. I got a lot done. It was a good day. I'm super glad because I got the correct size filter, which is a good thing. So now it's not going to keep clicking every time the air conditioner turns on. Last time I had the right side.
And then you have to turn on the heater. You have to turn on the heater yet?
Oh yeah, I just moved the unit, but yes, I have the.
Yeah.
This house was pretty poorly insulated. Like it was built with very minimal insulation, and just the 2x4 exterior walls, not the 2x6. So it's pretty hard on the hot and cold. Like if it's warm outside, it gets hot instantly. If it's cold outside, it gets cold instantly. So, anyway.
That's funny. She wants to go to your house. She's so curious. Like, so your house is like my room? And that sounds like, she has something painted in her head. Like,
Right.
She wants to come over and be like, okay, that's Huh.
Yeah, she's all. We need to work on this guy. Like, you
No.
need to,
No.
you need to invest in like. That's a nice bedroom, but where's the house part?
No. So what are you doing tomorrow?
Well, I think I'm gonna do a little, praying and fasting and reading and, reading the Bible and kind of some trying to refocus some things in life and just kind of be God's guy, be where God wants me to be, and try to figure out what things I should be focused on right now with life. So
Okay.
a lot of I think just mostly in anticipation of the outcomes of everything with your life and everything. I have a lot of vested interest in your life and your story and your I wanna be there for you. I'm talking about you today. Like I just realized just how much I love you and can't wait to be with you. So I wanna be everything that I need to be to prepare for that. I feel like I was, like we talked about money stuff, and I feel like I was kind of just sort of not being greedy, but sort of being selfish and just sort of letting, not greed so much, but just sort of anticipation kind of come in and like anticipating a certain, ease, or anticipating a certain like, oh, well, this will be super easy because this will happen and this will happen. Like, and it's like, no, let God control it. Don't, like, yes, plan, yes, work hard, yes, live your life as unto the Lord, but don't make it just like, oh, well, I don't need to worry about this part of my life because it's going to work out this way, like with the house, and so I just think like, oh, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way. So, anyway.
Do you think that God is he's guiding our timeline right now for sure? And
I want God to be at the helm. I don't want to try to do this myself because I can't. So the other thing I was thinking of was I'd like to take in those. I think I'm going to take in the baskets to church or the shoe boxes to church. Get those turned in so that they're on time. And then, yeah, just that kind of stuff.
Okay. I'm sorry we didn't get letters written.
Okay, there's always next time.
Yeah,
Always next time, hopefully.
really that's, this holiday season, Christmas, I really feel, that's what I really want to focus on.
I do too. I've been thinking the same thing.
I do, so, and I've told you before, like, I don't want to, it started, because the holidays, and I just see Christmas, and I'm like, oh, I'm not, it's just, oh, wow,
What are you feeling?
Well, just, of course, like, holidays, everything, it's just, it's different, so it's going to be different for the kids, so I want to start new traditions, and even if it's just this year, and we just change it up, and so I don't want to take away from them, like I was, like, well, you said, I want to have that balance, of like, okay, they are still kids, they've been through a lot, so not to be overdone,
Right.
but not to have it so drastically different. Like, we're just going to give to like every homeless shelter on the high desert this year and send packages to other children and think about them on Christmas. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I want the kids to still have excitement and feel, that's the fun of being kids, And then as a parent, like later on, it's their turn to watch their children's face light up, So like, I don't know what I'm thinking yet, and for October, November, I climbed up in the attic and we got pumpkins down and, like we went to the movies on Halloween instead of going trick-or-treating, but yet we still went and bought their costumes and they went out and got to go to their dance, So
Yeah.
I want it to be different for them because it is different, so it's not like I want to mask it with like, okay, well, I want it to look just like it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I want to decorate a little bit, but not like, obviously, like I'm not going to put up a tree, I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is that something you don't really like, or?
No, I like it. I love a tree. I don't know. It's just like.
Well, and you still have a while to think about it, and I'd love to talk to you about it. Too.
Yeah.
I think preserving.
Will you just hold Leanna? Oh. No, it says that one is my other brother. That was the real tongue twister. That's why, but that was good paying attention to the picture and knowing that that word was wrong, not older, other. Good job, Miss Leanna. Oh, I can just hear her in there breathing to her, feeding to her baby.
Yeah, too. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that part of manner. No, I do. I mean, it's like, it's there, it's a gifting, and we all have different, like, gifts and interests and stuff, and that's one of the ones that, those gifts and interests are the ones that I want to, like, build on for her. Not so much the brass Pachow club,
Yeah, you know what, I can't wait, the kids are just so much more obviously relaxed at home, when you're, they are, it's like the show off, like, come here, like that, it's high, it's high, there's different things that are going on for them, and, they want your attention, they want to touch you, they want to find out who you are to me, just who who you're trying to be for them, who you are to them, and are you there, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not just like, because they really are, they're sweet. When they're sweet, they're sweet. When they're not, right? Period.
Okay.
So.
I think that goes for all of us.
But I love that you know that about her, and I was reading to her last night the letter because it's in her Bible, the letter you heard her, you know. And then she's like, "Oh, let me see where you wrote in grace." And it's just so sweet how you do notice those are her gifts, you know, and it's so important to be reminded of our gifts, to highlight them, because it's like a worker. If you wash the whole engine and, you know, all the medical supplies are in their spot and everything, good job, or not, like, what? You missed the spot. Like, you just, none of us deserve praise. But
it's nice, it helps.
But it sure does help. Absolutely. You know, so anyways, and of course, children, they run off of that so much better than on you know, like that fills their tank, and that gives them confidence, and that gives them, you know, like, oh, these are my gifts. Like, you know, I get off the kind, and, you know, when they get attention for that, or when they get attention for being misbehaving.
Mm-hmm. Right, and, you know, that's something, too, I want to say sorry to you, because I've noticed a couple times where I have, you know, with Robbie early on, with maybe like a little attitude that they show or something, that, it's just kind of caught me off guard, and I'll like laugh at it, but they see that, and they see that it's entertaining to me, and that's not good. That's really, really, really bad. And it hurts what you're trying to do, which is like, no, don't behave that way. And then they, you know, like, Robbie is very observant, and he calls, you know, a spade, but he only calls a spade when it's someone else's spade. And so, like, sometimes where I've been like, you know, he can tell without me saying anything that, like, I was like, oh, there he goes, like, he called that. And it's like, you know, I need to be consistent in my support of you as, you know, and my influence on them. Like, you know, I don't want to, it's pretty much what I'm trying to say, I guess, is I don't want to encourage misbehavior by even subtle gestures like chuckling at something, or nodding at something, or anything like that, you know. So I'm sorry, because I know that I've undermined your hard work.
Here, can I go ahead? No, we'll find you on Zoom. That one's obvious, isn't it? We'll have to check that out. That one's in the hospital, we'll have to see about finding it. Now that we have room, but no, we'll check it out, okay?
For that.
Yeah, you know what, and I ask you forgiveness in a lot of, all this imitation on me, you know? How to get better at so many things, and I want to help the kids deal with it. And I don't want to be quick to anger with them. I want to be quick to fix and you know, I want them to realize the effect and the consequences and why and how, just everything, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so they're just like, don't do that. Get it, you know, and so I'm quick to do that, or not even, or let them get away with it, or not even pay attention, or, you know, like, so there's a lot of areas that I should be apologizing for, but I want to get better, that's all. Yeah. So, and on when our hearts are at peace, when it's quiet, when it's a good day, so it's like, I don't know, you know, like, man, hey, I got this, you know?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to stop it there on page 28, take our lunch recess. Remember not to form or express any opinion or discuss the case. Have a good lunch. We'll see you all back at